Hey Steve, thanks for all the feedback with the prior video. Duly noted, I'll make sure that I'm not wearing all the shoes in my videos if I can. Um, the manager at the club is not too affected by it as long as there's not too many patrons in the gym, so for the most part I think I can get away with not wearing any shoes whilst I'm training, so I'll keep that in mind for the future videos. As far as my training program for the last 3 months, and I say the last 3 months because prior to that I really didn't have much of a clue of what I was doing. I was kind of just bashing away at my body hoping for some sort of results, but probably since October, close to the end of October, is when I really sort of knuckle down and try to work out a bit of a system with my training, and that's where I've seen most of my progress come from, as far as everything from flexibility work through to strength and endurance and general fitness, etc. So the program is basically hand balancing work in the morning, pretty much 7 days a week, and straight arm scapular strength work, bent arm scapular strength work, and leg training is generally in the evening. So the way it works is hand balancing and straight arm strength is done 3 to 4 times a week. Then hand balancing and bent arm strength is done 2 times a week, and hand balancing and legs is done 2 times a week as well. As far as what I do in my hand balancing sessions, usually start off with some sort of wrist warm-up. So my first the three exercises that I normally do for wrist warming up is first knuckle press-ups, a set of 10 reps, then fin push-ups, 10 reps, and dorsal push-ups, 10 reps as well. From there I'll do some sort of a locomotion warm-up just to get my entire body a little bit more free. Maybe paired up with some hanging work, especially for my hand balancing work. I do feel a difference if I spend some time hanging prior to actually doing my work. So yeah, that would be sort of the general warm up that I do prior to any of my sessions. And as part of the hanging work, I might even do some stationary swings, so forward and back swings, side to side swings, some one arm passive to active hang work, maybe just a set of 10 to 12 reps for those things, just to prep up my shoulders and my scapula a bit more. Alright, so as far as the actual main conditioning work goes, I'll start off with chest to walls. I'm working on 3 sets of a minute at the moment, paired up with some active bridging work, so trying to work on my bridge, hands on the ground, feet up on a box, and then just going back and forth, trying to open the thoracic spine and the shoulders, trying to get more extension through the shoulders with every rep. Generally do about 10 reps and then I'll come back down, and then rest. Rest periods are 1 to 1.5 or just 1 to 1. So if I do it chest to wall for a minute, I'll rest for a minute or a minute 30 seconds depending on how fatigued I get as I progress. Following that, I'll do toe pulls and heel pulls, 4 sets of 10, aiming to hold the pull for 1 to 3 seconds off the wall and then back over. With the toe pulls, I pair up a passive hang on one arm for about 30 seconds and then switch arms. And with the heel pulls, I pair up the lat and tricep stretch, just holding a dumbbell behind my head with both hands and just working through that extension again. And the chest to walls as well, because I train hand balancing so often, I try to alternate it with the back to wall handstand alignments. I'm not sure why or how, but I found that when I included the back to wall handstand alignment, my time on my chest to wall actually improved a little bit. It seems to like my chest to wall seems to fluctuate between 50 seconds through to 60 seconds, so it kind of will fluctuate between that time. So it's not always consistent, but I generally tend to fall in that bracket. And by the time it gets to 50 seconds, that's when I really start to feel the burn. So yeah, that's generally where it's at. As far as what I do for my straight arm scapular strength work, I'll start off again with the wrist warm-ups. But instead of just doing a passive hang, I'll start to work into arching active hangs, really trying to work on pulling those retractors back. And also work on some, just in a push-up position, protraction and retraction drills, just to get those warmed up as well. And just some forward leans. And just as part of my warm-up drill, then again some locomotion work, which will include quadrupedal movement, crab walks, I can't think of all the names, but if you need me to send you a video of that, I'll be happy to. And then what's included in the straight arm scapular strength day will be front lever work in a straddle. That was what I was doing back in November, but I've just recently changed it in December to doing straddle pulls. So, front lever pulls. So from a passive hang position, in the straddle, I'll open my legs up into a straddle and then try to lift up, close my legs into a full front lever, and then try and lower as slowly as possible. Generally, I'm only able to get down in 3 to 5 seconds, nothing slower. At the moment, I don't have that much strength, so through those sort of the front lever pulls, I can't slow it down the negative as much. And that will be for about 3 to 5 reps and 5 sets. And I'll pair that up with something like Jeff curls with a weight. At the moment, I'm able to do the Jefferson curls with a 20 kilo weight plate. From there, I'll do planche work, trying to work into an advanced tuck now. In the video I sent you on YouTube, it's a flat back, or aiming to keep that flat back. You can still see me sway, back and forth. Like, it's not a very solid position just yet, so I'm still just trying to nail that down. I am trying to open my legs up a little bit, sort of like in a bent leg straddle position, if you want to call it. But I find I can't hold that position for too long, so I still just keep my legs together but flat back. 5 sets, 10 to 15 second holds, and that will be paired up with just some wrist extension stretches, and just some back of the wrist stretch as well, just because otherwise my wrists get a bit tight. As far as my bent arm scapular strength work goes, I do hover push-ups in a straddle position. Stop it. I'll do hover push-ups in a straddle position, 5 sets of 3 reps, paired up with a middle split hold for 30 seconds. Then one arm chin-up negatives, 5 sets of 10-second negatives. I can't get any slower than that down on the negatives just yet. Paired up with straddle ups, so just sitting on the ground, pushing myself off the ground with my hands, and then just sitting up in that middle straddle position hold, or middle split position, and then sitting back down onto the ground. At the moment, I need about 1 or 2 weight plates placed on the ground, because I can't fully go from a standing middle split position to a completely seated position. I just need to be elevated off the ground a tiny bit. The next one would be handstand push-ups on a box, because I can't do handstand push-ups against the wall just yet. So 5 sets of 3 for those, trying to go slow on the negatives. The tempo is probably about 3 seconds down, pause of a second at the bottom, explode up, pause for a second at the top. And I'll pair that up with arching bridges on the box as well, 10 reps. The next one from there will be a muscle-up transition, 3 sets of 60 seconds, trying to get a total of 3 minutes of work. And it will literally just be sitting in that transition on the rings with the rings pulled in close, and just working till I get at the bottom of the dip position, then back up. Bottom of the dip position, back up. Aiming to trace around the chest and back down as well. Just trying to get my elbows a little bit strong, because when I was doing one-arm chin-up work in December, I tried to work on just one-arm chin lock-off on my left arm, and I felt a bit of a strain through my biceps, my brachialis and my brachioradialis. The brachialis is fine now, I've rehabbed that back into shape, but my brachioradialis still gives a bit of grief anytime the elbows sort of take into full compression. So if I just pull it in and tense the arm, I don't feel any pain, but if I pull it in and I'm still feeling tension, I can still feel a bit of a strain just sort of right near the elbow there. So still working on that, and I think the muscle-up transitions are really helping with sort of rehabbing that back into shape as well. So at the moment my feet are on the ground, just barely getting any assistance with my toes on the ground. I can do them without my feet on the ground, but I'm just going to work up to that with me rehabbing my elbows as well. As far as what I'm doing to rehab that elbow, I'm just doing elbow circle push-ups. So, just going from a full lockout position, dropping till I get my triceps close to the ground, rotating out and then back in, and then doing the same thing back out and then in. So in and out, rotating through, and then out and in, rotating through. And I'll be doing 3 sets of 20 for those. I started off doing them on the wall, just progressed them to the ground, doing them about twice a day at the moment until my elbows get a bit better, and also working on the, well, I don't know what to call them, but they're basically, you drop into a push-up position, and then from the push-up position, it's like you're doing Russian push-ups, where you drop onto your elbows on the ground, supinate the arm, try to bring the shoulder to the ground here, then rotate or pronate the arm again, and then push back up into a push-up. Do the same thing on the other hand, supinate, come down, pronate, push back up. So that's really also helping with the elbow, or the brachioradialis. Sorry, I digress there. So I've done, for bent arm strength, we start off with the hover push-ups in the straddle position, 5 sets of 3, one arm negatives, 5 sets of 10 seconds, negative, and then handstand push-ups on the box, 5 sets of 3, work into the full range of motion. Muscle up transition, 3 sets of 60 seconds, paired up with the lat and tricep stretch. And then for my leg training, I'm working on front squats, again aiming to bring that up to a max of double body weight front squatting. I want to be able to do 5 sets of 5 with double body weight. So at the moment, my workout consists of doing 5 sets of 2 to 3 reps on the front squat for 90 kilos. Doing Harrop curls, 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps. I'm not getting complete hip extension. I'm probably staying about that bent through my hips. So if that was my hips, that would be my legs there and my torso there. So just a slight incline through there, aiming to really try and keep that flat as much as I can. And then I'll pair that up with some sort of locomotion work, so trying to do beginner variations of the dragon squat with the legs swinging back through and coming down, also including some progressions towards a pistol squat, because that's something I really want to be able to do, just so that I can open up my movement windows and toolbox, really, because I started off with really shitty ankle mobility, so I've come a long way as far as what I can do now, but I still have a lot more work to do with my squat mobility as well. So if there's any tips you can give me for that, that'd be awesome. And then I'll finish off with some sort of front split work or pancake straddle stretch work, and just some passive stretches just to help with the recovery phase of it. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire program at the moment. That's pretty much what I follow every day. And then obviously I include things like capoeira classes here and there. I might go for a bouldering session, or see my mate at the circus and just work with some Adasia work with her. I haven't seen her in a while though, so I dare say that I'm any good at it at the moment. But yeah, that's my program. If you need any more information, don't hesitate to get back to me. Thanks.